a game such as the King of Fighters XII, art is key. Everything is drawn by hand. The characters, the backgrounds, everything. We delve deeper to find out what's going on behind all this 2D mastery. The King of Fighters series had already moved into 3D with the Maximum Impact games. Why did you decide to go back to the time-consuming 2D art style for the King of Fighters XII?
Well, first of all, we do not think that 2D is antiquated or old technology that has been left behind. We also don't believe that it was simply a bridge to getting to 3D. There are so many things that can't be shown in 3D that only 2D can accurately express. So that is why we chose to base the King of Fighters around 2D, because we wanted to show off the atmosphere of the game, and we felt 2D graphics would allow us to do that a lot better. And also, from the onset, we wanted to make the one and only in fighting games, so we knew we could not compromise when it came to our visuals. So that is why we fully embraced the 2D dot art style. And also, just as game makers and as game designers, we've consistently challenged ourselves to think differently and create differently to complete our unique visions.
So just how long did it take to make this beautiful 2D art? We heard a rumor that it took a team of artists over 10 months to work on each individual character in the King of Fighters XII.
Well, our designers here are very good, and they're also very experienced at what they do. But even with all their talent, it takes one of our designers up to 16 man-months to complete just one character. So what we had to do was we had to divide the artist teams for each individual art process in order to maximize our efficiency and streamline our productivity. So this helped us meet our deadline.
The stages you fight on in the King of Fighters XII are full of crazy little details. There's so much going on. We've noticed a few little things. Can you tell us of any other hidden references or little details we might have missed while playing the game?
We've put extra effort into the overall atmosphere and feel of this game. And we've done this by paying extra close attention to the background, the colors, and even the expressions on the faces of the audience members. So if you pay close enough attention, you might just find one of our favorite characters in the audience.
So what was the overall development time for King of Fighters XII, and was it a lot longer than for previous King of Fighters titles?
To create this game, it requires a lot of time, power, and patience. So we're not able to simply compare it to the other titles in the series, especially since this title was designed with next gen in mind. So really, it's hard to tell.
So what was the structure like for the art team on the King of Fighters XII? Is it true that Nona, fan favorite artist, was brought in to oversee the overall look for the game?
Yes, Nona was brought in to oversee the direction of all the art. So, indeed, he was the art director. He was there to oversee the art and to also aid in balancing out our art. We had graphics teams and also teams to help create the characters underneath his supervision. We also, in addition, had several simultaneous processes going to create all of the art for this game.
The animation in The King of Fighters XII is incredibly fluid and it looks almost like an anime. How complex are these animations compared to what we've seen from SNK in the past in a game like Garou: Mark of the Wolves?
So for the King of Fighters XII, we're trying to create a completely new game. So the fluidity of the game's animation is one of the factors in achieving this goal. We really want the players to be pulled into the game's atmosphere, and having smooth animation is key to doing that. So a lot of emphasis was placed on the game's graphics and also its animation. And like I've been saying continually, the King of Fighters XII is a one and only, so it's actually kind of difficult to compare it to anything else.
Talking about the stages, we do have to ask, in the France stage, why are all the women so hungry and kind of well-fed?
Well, what an interesting question. Well, first of all, I need to make this very clear. I'm not trying to say or imply that French women are fat. I don't think like that at all. The reason why the women are the way they are is because this stage in the game takes place at a very posh resort in France, and there are a lot of very rich and well-to-do tourists staying there to see the battles. So the image we wanted to paint was of all these rich tourists that have plenty of food for themselves gathering together at this French resort and getting very excited to watch these fights. So that is why they are always eating and getting very excited in that stage. Not that French women are fat.
Speaking about the stages in the King of Fighters XII, they're 2D, but there are neat little 3D effects and like blimps and confetti. Was that kind of a decision you made to mix 3D into the 2D? And moving forward, do you think we'll see more of that out of the games from SNK Playmore?
The way we envisioned this game was with the final product being in 2D. But in order for us to get that result, we first had to create everything in 3D, even the backgrounds. So first we created the 3D models, and then chose where the camera would go before finally putting it into 2D. That was our process, and we really liked the results that we got. Our goal from the beginning of this game was to bring out the best parts of 2D and 3D, and have the two complement each other while expressing our vision. Also, for future titles, we plan on using this approach again because we were so pleased with the results.
Now that you've seen all the hard work that goes into creating the backgrounds and gameplay for King of Fighters XII, join us next time to get acquainted with the crazy and eccentric cast of characters you'll be controlling in the King of Fighters XII.